Hello, everybody. This is a lecture video over the quiz you will do over the break. You actually have two of them, but this is just a lecture video over pages 107 and 108, uh, quiz number 5. Okay, let's just get right into this. In the first section, I went over this quite extensively in class, but we're going to just work on, say, intervals above the note here in the first part. And let's do a major second above a flat. Let me just double check that we are actually, nope, that's not A flat. That's going to be F flat, which is kind of tricky because we don't have a major key for F flat. This is in treble clef here. So you just draw the second above. Now keep in mind, F to G is a whole step. That's a major second. So if you wanted a major second above F flat, you would just put that flat right there on the G, and F flat to G flat would be a major second. Okay, let's clear that. I'm going to move this over here. Okay, so the next thing is identify the interval, then write and identify the inversion. So let's do one of these. So in this case, they kept the bottom note, so we're going to invert the top note. We got to bring that top note down an octave. So we have a G to an A, and they kept the G. So we'll bring the A down here, and then you simply just need to solve for one of those intervals. And you remember when you invert a major interval, it becomes minor. When you invert an augmented interval, it becomes diminished. And when you invert a perfect interval, it becomes perfect, and vice versa for all of them. So I'm going to solve for the second. G2A is a whole step, making that a major second. Therefore, this would immediately be a minor 7 due to the method of inversion that we went over so much in class. I'll just write it down though. Remember, invert major, it becomes minor. Invert augmented, becomes diminished. And if you invert perfect, it becomes perfect. Okay, let's go on to the next one. I did most of these in classes. I'm just making a video real quick to kind of help out in case you need it. All right, oops. Gotta clear that. And let's kind of scroll here. How do I get out of here? Give me a second. All right, here we are, parts 3 and 4. Let's work on part 3. So let's do, it says these are compound intervals. Write the interval above the note. All right. Well, for compound intervals, remember just solve for the simple interval first. And remember, I'll write out this little thing. Remember, twos become ninths when they're compounded. Threes become tens, right? Fours are actually 11s when compounded. Fives are 12s. And sixes are 13s. Okay, so they want a 9. So why don't we solve for the second first? Solve for the simple interval. They want a major ninth above the note B. And in the key of B, there are, well, to have a major 9, you need to have a whole step. And B to C is a half step. So it would need to be B to C sharp. And in the key of B, C is sharp. You all know this. So this gives you your major second. So you would simply just have to write this same note a ninth up, which would be up here. You just take that C sharp and raise it an octave. And that's all you do. You can do the same kind of method for every single one of these here, and we did that in class. I'm going to keep this information right here, but let's go down to this part 4 here. And it says write the interval below the note. So if you get a compound interval, just solve for the simple interval first and then write the compound interval, and you can show your work like we did right here. So let's do an augmented seventh below the note G. So here's an A. That's the first thing you do is count. We have a seventh. And then once you do that for intervals below the note, the next thing you do is just simply identify the note. So we just simply need to identify what this interval is, okay? So in the key of A, there are three sharps, F, C, and G. So for this to be a major interval, that seventh there up on top would have to be G sharp, but it's not. It's natural. So therefore, this is a minor seventh because in the key of A, G is sharp, and in this case, it's natural. So if you look over at this sheet here, a major seventh would have been if it were sharp, right? But it's not. It's a natural note above, in this case, making it minor. So now you know you have a minor seventh, and we need to make it augmented. So we got a minor seventh. I'm using this little sheet here. And the bottom note is currently natural. Mark that. And I need to make it augmented. So I'm going to lower that bottom note 2 half steps. This is one of the hardest ones, I think. And I'm doing it for you. There you go. So that's the answer. Let's do a major 10 here. Remember, tens are actually threes, right? So let's solve for the three, count down to three. That's a B to a D. So in the key of B, D is sharp. So therefore, this is not a major third. It's currently a minor third. So what do you need to do to that bottom note? We would flat it. And in the key of B flat, D is natural, and then you just bring the B down, making your major 10. Okay. I'm going to clear this out. And let's go further down the page here. Here you have rhythms. I did this on the board once again, and many of you remember this. Some of you don't because you weren't in class, but that's a you decision. So you're gonna start one, but you're gonna start with and then it's one, two, three, E, and oh. One, two, three, and one. So you're gonna put that one in parentheses, then and two, three, and you have one. You can do the rest on your own. Remember, this is one, E, and uh, and then two, E, and you do the rest on your own. Clear that out. Oh, I didn't clear it. My bad. Let's go here. And once again, you're doing more inversions in this part. So let's do like this one here. So now we're going to invert the top note, and this is in treble clef, so we have G to D sharp. So I'm going to bring that D sharp down an octave. And right off the bat, you should know you don't have a perfect interval because it's not sharp to sharp, natural to natural, and flat to flat. And in this case, G to D sharp is in fact an augmented fifth. If it were A perfect fifth, that D would be natural. This is an augmented fifth. And remember, when you invert an augmented interval, it becomes diminished. So D sharp to G is in fact a diminished fourth. There you go. And in part seven, you simply identify the following compound intervals. I think the best thing you can do is once again solve for the simple interval. We've gone over how to do that numerous times. Um, in this case, though, they did give you an 8 here. That's an A to an A flat. Kind of tricked you a little bit. If this were a perfect eighth, that A would be natural. However, it's flatted, giving us the diminished 8 there. That's not technically a compound interval because it's up to an 8. The rest are though. So let's do one. We have, look at this one. We have B flat to C. So if you just solve for the simple interval first, bring that C down an octave, and it's a second, right? And remember, seconds are nines, like we talked about on the previous page and on the board. B flat to C is a major second, making this a major 10. B flat to C is in fact a major 10. So if you know that this is major, then that's going to be major as well. Your 10th right here is major. Okay, let's do another one. Let's do E to A. That's an E, that's an A. Bring the A down, solve for that fourth. Natural to natural, E to A, that's a perfect fourth. So therefore, this would be a perfect 11. Okay, I'll do one more. We have D to E flat. Well, let's bring that E flat down. We're definitely dealing with a 9, right? But we'll solve for the second first. D to E natural would be a major second because that would be a whole step. And D to E flat would be a minor second because that's a half step. So you have a minor second there. And that would mean that this would be a minor 9. Okay. Do your best on this video or on this quiz. This is actually a quiz. It's worth 60 points. This is due when we come back on Monday after Thanksgiving. If you do not have it done, you will not get the points. And I will make an announcement about that. Also, make sure to complete your 50 interval identifications on musictheory.net. That will be also your quiz 8. So this is technically going to be your quiz 7. Quiz 8 will be the interval identifications on musictheory.net, which will all be on Blackboard. Those are all due Monday when we come back. And on that Monday, I will give you your final exam review, which will also be worth a quiz. We'll go over that on the next Wednesday, and then you'll have the final exam on Monday during exam week. Almost done. Just keep up the good work, and we'll see you all soon. Have a good Thanksgiving.